If your life is anything like mine, you have felt the pressure to do something or to not do something based on what your peers are doing. Peer pressure doesn't just affect children and teenagers. We all make decisions that are sometimes based on what the crowd says. I'll give you a personal example. Years ago, before I got saved, I made a horrible decision regarding sex because it's what my peers were doing. The consequences from that decision were a disaster. Some of y'all are really feeling me right now. I had to learn to make choices based on how I felt, not the crowd. And not just about sex, about everything. Kind of like the man in the Bible. He's blind and he's sitting on the side of the road begging when he hears a commotion. It was Jesus passing by with a crowd. The blind man begins to cry out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." But the crowd immediately spoke and told him to shut up. The crowd saw the blind man as a nuisance who was simply bothering Jesus. They didn't care about his condition or his need. And that's how crowds are sometimes. They care more about their own image or agenda than they do about what's best for you. And if you listen to them and you end up suffering consequences for the choices they helped you to make, it's your problem, not theirs. Now the blind man has a choice to make. What would you do? Well, the blind man found the courage to ignore the crowd. He needed Jesus, and he wasn't going to let the crowd shut him up or stop him. Jesus hears the desperate cry of this man, so Jesus stops, tells him, "Come here, bro," and asks him, "What is your request?" The blind man responded, "I want to be able to see." Jesus says, "I got you," and miraculously restored his eyesight. So what's the crowd stopping you from doing? Is the crowd stopping you from going to church? Is the crowd telling you to shut up when you try to talk about the Bible? Is the crowd pressuring you to suppress your true desire to follow Jesus? Learn the lesson of the blind man in this story. He didn't just ignore the crowd. He didn't just cry out to Jesus at the top of his lungs. And he didn't just get his miracle. The Bible says after he received his sight, he followed Jesus. God's ultimate goal for your life is not just to meet your needs, it's to get you to follow Jesus.